Well, shifting gears into our Motoring Friday segment, the South African industry is set to close in 4 weeks. SA will see a spike in not only traffic, but in the number of cops that will appear on the road to monitor the holiday traffic. But where are they for the rest of the year? David Furlonger, editor-at-large for Financial Mail, joins us to look into the state of South Africa's road safety. Thank you so much for your time, David. Of course, it is that time of the year. We are going to be seeing a barrage of road safety campaigns. But do they work?
Not sure, to be honest. It worries me that, as you say, in 4 weeks' time, industry closes on Friday the 13th, which I hope is not a bad omen.
Yes, please no.
But when you look at the numbers of people who die on the roads, over the Christmas period last year, just over 1,400 people died. On the roads for the year as a whole, it was just over 10,100. But when you actually look at, or when you break down the figures month by month and get away from Christmas, there's not a huge difference between the numbers that are killed in December and January from the rest of the year. So, as you said, we're going to see lots of cops on the roads from the 14th of December, but you have to ask, where are they today? Where have they been every other day, except perhaps over the Easter rush?
And I'm actually wondering here, David, you say that there's a lack of visibility, but could it also be a thing of we just don't notice that breaking road safety laws are just so ingrained in the fabric of South Africans that we don't even notice?
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, an hour ago, I was driving and I stopped to turn right when the arrow was against me, and the person behind me decided to pull out, swing right, and narrowly missed a school child who was walking across the road. So it's about accountability, because we also have the issue that, yes, the police aren't around for much of the year, but we also have the thing that we actually have very good traffic laws in this country, but they're never applied. So, never mind the fact that taxi drivers get away with everything, but apart from speeding and more in recent years, drunk driving, all those other things like, driving off the side of the road and overloaded vehicles, all these dangerous things, no one takes them seriously. So, yes, South Africans do believe the law doesn't apply to them, but that's because the law isn't applied.
The law isn't applied, but I'm also thinking now, is there also a lack of prosecution? And could corruption also be a hindrance to that?
But clearly, we've all heard stories, and many of us have experienced being pulled over allegedly for speeding or drunk driving, and being told, well, give me 500 rand and it won't go to court and you won't go into prison for the weekend. Many of us have either experienced it or seen that. But generally, outside of those two, we're not seeing the prosecutions. When was the last time you saw an unsteady truck being pulled over? It doesn't happen.
Yeah, indeed. And David, also just really, what are the biggest threats and shortfalls here that, cause the biggest risk in road safety for South Africans?
Okay. First of all, South Africans have got to realize that they're not as good at driving as they think they are. Everyone believes that it's not going to happen to them. Well, 10,180 people last year, it wasn't going to happen to them, and they all died on the roads last year. And stop being aggressive. I mean, when I do long distance driving, I use my cruise control a lot. And the number of times when you're overtaking a vehicle and the driver, usually male, I have to say, showing his macho side, will then accelerate because he doesn't want to be overtaken. And it's this aggression within South African drivers and the lack of possibility of prosecution, which I think is driving the whole thing. But like I said, you've got to realize it can happen to you. It happens to thousands of people every year. So don't be blasé. Some people, watching this program may not come back from their holidays this year. Statistically, that's possible. So take it seriously.
David, I mean, also, what is the difference? Because you talk about the fact that we do have these rules that are just not applied. I understand that you were also in the UK. Just talk to me about the differences that you saw there between law enforcement between South Africa and the UK.
Okay, look, UK is, there are cameras everywhere. But the most notable thing is that you know that if you speed, you will be fined. You will be picked up. Even on motorways, which have a 70-mile-an-hour limit, which is 112 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
If there's a bit of a problem on the road, signs will come up which will tell you 50 limit, 40 limit, 30 limit. Everyone sticks religiously to that. It can be frustrating sometimes when you're South African. You think, well, you know, there's nothing out there, but all the lanes on the motorway, everyone drives religiously at 30, 40, 50. It is ingrained there. You've also got the issue that you're only allowed to overtake on the right, whereas here you can overtake, or as they call it, undertaking, which I think is a wonderful expression for such a dangerous maneuver. So it's ingrained in the psyche there. Here, the opposite is ingrained, that you can probably get away with it.
Yeah. Clearly, David, there needs to be some sort of a psychological change where we can actually change our behavior fundamentally. But yeah, thank you so much for that, and also just really for that warning as we head to the festive season. That was Financial Mail's editor-at-large, David Furlonger.